Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, and should we see what's going on a lovely I can't speak on a lovely island of Fawnhollow today, and we can see Celeste is there, which is fantastico. What should we talk about today? Having a bit of a stretch. What can we talk about? You know what I can talk about? I finished watching a series. I don't even know if I brought it up actually in any of these Animal Crossing things. But if you don't know, I tend to watch anime or any series, I suppose, like very randomly, sporadically. I would just be like, you know what? I'm gonna start watching this anime. And it was like a couple of weeks ago. I was gonna start watching one or something, and I was like, oh, you know what? Well, actually, let's go on to this in a second. Good evening, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 7:41 p.m. on Thursday, January 11th, 2024. I was like, you know, I want to start watching something, but, you know, I tend to want to watch shorter things because I'm just like, you know, I'm not here for like committing to a super long series of that sort of thing. So I was going to watch Violet Evergarden because that's one which has been on my list, I think, ever since it came out, because I heard it's like one of the most beautiful anime ever, and I was like, I should probably watch that. And then, I don't know, I just like stopped. And then like it was a few days later. So a couple of days ago or something. What was it a couple of days? Oh, no, I don't know. The time frame is a bit funky. Maybe it was almost a week ago, I can't really remember, where I was like, okay, you know, let's try something else. And I was going to continue watching Violet Evergarden, but then I just like didn't get very far into it, mind you. It wasn't because of the anime itself. I only watched like the first few minutes, and then I think I just got distracted doing something, and then I just never picked it up again. But I decided to watch a series called Boku no Kokoro Yabai Yama, something like that. Hold on, it's called in short, but like Boku Yaba or something. Boku no Kokoro no Yabai Yatsu. That's it. See, I was going to look up what Yatsu means, because I don't actually know what that ending means in Japanese. Japanese Yatsu. Oh, it's like a swear word? It can also mean guy. It's a very broad meaning. What does Yabai Yatsu mean? Because Boku no Kokoro is my heart. So my heart's yabai, and yabai is like something bad. I don't know what yatsu actually means though. Another way to say a guy. Yabai yatsu can easily mean dangerous guy, person, as it can mean dangerous thing. Okay. Okay, sure. Well, today I learned, I suppose. It's a very sort of generic word. It's also known as The Dangers in My Heart in English, which I only started watching because of this one random clip I saw. I think it was on Reddit. It's a bit of like one of the later episodes, like a clip, but it's basically a guy just accidentally saying something which was like very romantic to this girl. And I was like, okay, you know, that was a pretty cool clip, and I was like, I don't know if I'm actually going to watch this anime or not. And the answer is no for like 99% of anime, to be more any series, to be honest. But I don't know what compelled me to. I think I just like read somewhere subconsciously that it was a really like good romance anime or something. It was like incredibly sweet. And then what really pushed it over was like I was thinking, like trying to think of like an anime to watch, and then I saw this one. I looked up on my anime list, and it has the strangest description, which is not wrong necessarily, but I was just like, how does this work? Because I was like, everything I heard about it was like it's a fluffy sort of slice of lifey romance anime with like it's all about the development of like a relationship between a high school boy and a high school girl. And then the description of it is like, this kid is no ordinary teenager. He actually wants to murder this most popular girl in school or something like that. And I was just like, what? Excuse me? How does that even make like remote sense whatsoever? I thought this was like a fluffy romance anime. So I think born out of that curiosity alone, I watched it, and I finished it last night. And it's nice. It's really good. I wouldn't recommend it for everyone. It is very much like a slow burn sort of romance anime. It's not like full of drama as well. It's just like a really pleasant sort of like cute anime. I'm not sure cute's the right word, because if I say cute, you might think of like Sailor Moon or like, I was gonna say Madoka, but that's perhaps a bit misleading. But Card Captor Sakura or things like that. It's more like warm. It's like a cozy is not really the right word either. It's sort of, but maybe it's cozy and like a pleasant anime. That's probably how I describe it. About a blossoming relationship. It's really quite sweet, I suppose. But sweet might be a better word for it. Honestly, I enjoyed it quite a lot. It's like my annual randomly watch one anime series that I meant to watch like ages ago or something. But yeah, I mean, I'll warn you before I get into any spoilers, I suppose, about it. But the premise is not actually wrong. Basically, it's this high school kid who is kind of like a toonie. If you don't know what a toonie is sort of like it's like a Japanese phrase for like middle school syndrome. What I would basically call it as like a cringy teenager syndrome if there was like an English translation for it, like, you know, when like edgy teenager syndrome, when you're just like, oh, I'm like a fallen angel of darkness, no one knows my true potential. Oh, if like it would take, I'm only using like a fraction of my power right now. If they knew I was like the demon lord of the underworld or something, you know, like we sort of delusions you play into when you're a teenager because you want to be edgy, or like no one understands me sort of way, because you're trying to find your identity. And I'm not trying to say this to be like disparaging against, you know, teens going through this phase right now or anything like that. That's, you know, we've all been that cringy teenager at one point in our lives, you know. So you might as well just sort of like as long as you're not hurting anyone, of course. Well, I don't know, lean into it. Why not? You'll probably feel like not terrible about it, but you'll feel so embarrassed about it later. But you know, just lean into it while it's not embarrassing, I suppose. Anyway, so he thinks himself he's like so edgy and that sort of thing. He's like, oh, you know, I've got like, I'm so messed up like in a like Joker sort of way. And then like he talks about it's a really like weird start for like a romance anime, I must be honest. And he's just like, oh, you know, he's saying all these like really edgy things about like you know, nothing who I was going to swear, who like annoys me the most. It was the most popular girl in school, this girl or whatever. And then slowly over the course of the anime, he realizes that he's actually slowly falling in love with this girl. Is not actually, you know, very dark or anything. He's pretty much harmless, you know. He says all this edgy stuff, but he like would never act on anything even remotely to it. He just kind of wants to play that part, I suppose, in his mind. But then he realizes that he starts to sort of fall for her. It's super cute, sweet. Yeah, I don't know. Cute just gives the wrong vibes. Cute gives me like Hello Kitty vibes, which is not Hello Kitty vibes. It's just like, yeah, sweet, like a sweet story sort of vibe. But I don't know. To you, maybe cute and sweet is synonymous, so you might just be like, why are you like talking so much about this technicality which doesn't even matter? But yeah, it's this very sweet story about like a popular girl. It turns out that she's like pretty, you know, dorky, I guess is how I describe her. Absent-minded in some capacity. But it's nice to see how they sort of care for each other and look out for each other. Like there's a lot of small little details, and I suppose now we'll start getting into spoiler territory. It's got a nice so here's your spoiler warning, and anything in the show's now off limits and you could be spoiled. It's not really a show which I think spoilers matter all that much. It's from the very start you can be like, okay, yeah, they're gonna fall in love, and they're definitely, you know, they're probably going to fall in love with each other, or maybe not, or they'll eventually get into like a relationship. It is a slow burn. It like takes the entire season, and they don't even really get into a relationship at the end. They're just like, they're almost there. But there's a lot of small details in it which like make it feel more realistic, I suppose. One, it feels like a pretty accurate representation of teenagers. Like the classmates sometimes are like really stupid, but not in a stupid way you're like written poorly sort of way. Written in a way where you're just like, oh my god, like, why would you say that? But I was like, you're such a dumb teenager, and which is kind of like the point in the first place. I forgot what I was going to say. Surprisingly, the dialogue goes very horny. Perhaps because they're teenagers, I suppose. I'm not sure if horny is the right word. Maybe like lewd is the right word. You know how teenagers sort of are sometimes. The bags of hormones. Bags? That's such a weird way to describe it. A bundle of hormones all tied together due to puberty and all that. But there's so many things where I'm just like, it's amusing. Like, but the one that sticks out to me is the small details of showing that they're sort of like falling for each other. And if you're like reading into it properly, you're like, oh yeah, I can pick up on these signals which are giving each other. But then like, you know, the characters. What am I saying? The characters in the show aren't necessarily, especially our main protagonist. The one I always think about is them accidentally bumping into each other at McDonald's, where basically like she is with her like friends and he's with his sister, but she doesn't know who his sister is, and then she's just basically like, because she's interested in him, she's just like, oh no, does he have a boyfriend? Does he have a girlfriend? or something like that. So as soon as they start talking, she was making a load of noise while they were having a conversation about like dating or something, and then as soon as she hears the sister say something, she like immediately stops and tries to listen into the conversation just to find out like the dynamic between them. And I was like, oh, that's a really nice little detail. But mostly it will have you sort of like not screaming, you'll see sort of going like, oh, come on, you dense bundle of bricks already. Can't you see the affection which is building? And there's a lot of really like heartwarming, heartfelt, cute moments, I suppose. See that part saying cute feels bad. I don't know why. I've got this weird sort of discrepancy in my head of when to use the word cute. Especially stuff where he's like, oh, you know, her being happy makes me so angry, but then like, no, it was like he's like trying to be really edgy, being like, oh, I want to see her in pain, but then it's like anytime she comes across any sort of like not inconvenience, but any sort of like bad situation, he does whatever he can to like help her. It's very sweet in its own way. I don't know. I don't think I'm doing a very good job describing it. But I'm not exactly going to be like, go out there and watch it, because I think you will know if you like this sort of thing or not, you know? Do you like romances? If you don't watch this. This entire thing is basically a romance. Like, the entire premise is based off a blossoming romance. If you don't like romances, don't watch this. But I like the side characters are cool as well. I don't know if we get to see more of them later on or whatever. But I feel like they say a lot about their personality through the limited interaction. Like, I cannot remember their names very well off the top of my head. Hold on. There's Ichikawa, that's the main character. There's... Oh my god, what's the girl called? I'll recognise it as soon as I think about it. Her name's Anna. Something... Oh my god, what is it? It's like on the tip of my tongue. It's like something Tada. Something Dada? Yamada, right? That sounds right. And then there's a side character, like one of her friends. One of them is like a Gyaru. And honestly, she gets like a really cool part, I suppose, within the final episode of season 1. I hear there's a season 2, which is coming out recently, which is maybe why I actually heard about it again recently and decided, and it was sort of like in the forefront of my mind, because this season came out like half a year ago, I think. And like, I kind of completely forgot about it. Or whatever. I mean, it probably like came up again recently, which is why I thought about it again. But we gotta get some like very cool parts, I suppose, in the last episode. Especially with her sort of like trying to find out if this guy's actually like a scumbag or not. Realising he's not, and then being like, okay, you know, you're in my cool books now. I approve, essentially. It's very sweet, I suppose, in its own right. I just keep saying that over and over again. I don't know how to properly describe it, because I feel like it's very much encapsulated by it being... It's a blossoming romance between a bit of like a... Well, I suppose it's a blossoming romance between the popular girl and the loner kid, or something like that. And it's done... It's a slow burn, which actually is what makes it work, I think. Like, the relationship does not feel... Well, we're not even in a relationship, but it doesn't feel rushed. It feels like it's paced. It feels like it has a natural progression to it, from them being... Well, not necessarily, like, strangers to each other, but not, like, particularly close, to them slowly, like, forging a bond. And seeing the little actions that they take towards to each other to try and, like, help each other out. So yeah, I don't know. How well reviewed is it on My Anime List? So we have a look. My Anime List, Boku Yaba. 8.2 out of 10. So see, like, listen to this intro. Gyotaro Ichikawa may look like a shy, reserved middle school student, but deep within his heart is a bloodthirsty killer. His ultimate desire is to see his classmate Anna Yamada's beautiful face writhing in pain before he ends her life. And I just read it and went, what? How can this be that sweet, blossoming romance anime when that is the description? Really sort of pulls a fast one on you, isn't it? Doesn't it? It's a shonen anime? That's its demographic? That sounds weird to put it in the same league as like Attack on Titan and Death Note or something that makes it shonen. I guess I can see it. It's a comedy romance. Yeah, okay. That sounds about right. Oh. Oh yeah, we need to find Celeste. Celeste, where are you? I need the recipe. We've already found our craft writers in media, so Also, what Nook Mile missions do we have? These are not very doable ones. Bugs might be doable, but it's not extreme. I'm also surprised we haven't run into Celeste yet. We've seen her in front of a town hall on the loading screen, but no further. So am I like, is it the best anime ever? No, I don't think it's the best anime ever, but I think it is a nice one. Certainly worth a watch if you like romances. It's probably how I describe it. And it is a bit of a random one for me to watch. I don't think I watched a romance anime, but well, I guess Kaguya-sama is a romance anime, isn't it? And I've only watched the first season of that, to be perfectly honest. Not that Kaguya was bad, I actually really enjoyed Kaguya. I thought it was great. That's even more sort of rom-commy, with more focus on the comedy, I suppose. So Kaguya, I would say, is more like a comedy anime with romance as its theme. While this one is more like a romance anime, not with comedy as its theme. I guess the duality doesn't work the other way around, I think about it, but still. Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting, because I was also considering watching this other romance anime called Shinomori's Not Just a Cutie or something like that. I can't remember the exact name. And that's because I saw some clips of it. This is what makes me decide if I want to watch an anime or I watch some clips of it, even completely out of context. If I don't understand the context, if I look at it and be like, that seems like an intriguing story to me, I'm like, I'm going to watch it. But Shinomori's Not Just a Cutie has like an absolute banger of an opening song. It's called Honey Jet Coaster, right? It goes like, Kawaii da 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 da, honey jet coaster, manga mitai ni da 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 mate mate da 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 da. I can't remember it very well, but it's got an absolute banger. I don't even know. I can't remember how the banger the opening goes for this one. Anyway, I don't know. It feels like it's been a rather popular anime of last year. It's ranked 314th. That's actually quite not as high as I thought it would be. I mean, no, that feels reasonable. As I say, it's not like a groundbreaking anime or anything like that. It's just like a nice one. And I think it's particular to whether you like that sort of genre or not. Where are you, Celeste? I guess we haven't properly explored the entire island yet. I'm just very surprised we've not run into her. Because usually she's right by Amelia's house. But not this time. So she might be wandering across the beach. Or is it... Does she only spawn at 8? No, she can't spawn at 8. We literally saw her spawn. Unless she no, she doesn't despawn. She can't despawn. It doesn't make sense. At least not yet. I must have just like run past her and not even realised. I don't know if there's an easier way for us to find her. You're thinking about moving. The answer is no, Biscuit. By entering the town hall and then leaving again? Because that can sometimes, I've heard, reset NPCs back to over era. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just like a sweet anime. Should we see some of the reviews? Anime romantic comedies, a dime a dozen. The moment with some savvy... How long is this review? Read more. Oh, it's so long. I'm not reading all of that. I need like a summary. Okayaba is for the most part fairly simple at what I described. It's not completely vapid, but it's also not peak anime Kino either. But there's something very strange. There's something very me energy about it, going like it's not completely vapid, but it's also not peak anime Kino. In the same sentence. Increasingly oversaturated rom-com when quirky couples pop up with weekends on loose and just property sometime. Quite satisfied. Yeah, I don't know. This is nice. It's one of the nicest things I would not always recommend. Where are you, Celeste? How have we not found you yet? She must have been by Amelia, maybe just like hidden behind the thing. Maybe she's around the back of a cliff. Oh, you're there, Celeste. What are you doing? We need to talk to her because we need the... I guess she was still by Amelia. Normally she's on much higher ground, but... But no, we need to talk to her because we need to find the recipe that she's going to give us. Reviews rating 7. Yeah, I think that's fair. I would give it like a 7 or 8-ish or something. Is that the last what's the last anime I watched before that? Oh, Odd Taxi, actually. Odd Taxi's really good. Like, I loved Odd Taxi. Odd Taxi might be my favourite anime. Maybe second to Madoka. I don't know. Those two go back and forth a lot. I'd highly recommend watching that one. Anyway, I don't know. It was just nice. I guess that's what I'm titling today's episode. So anyway, if you haven't been watching, thank you very much. It's been Adam Crossing New Horizons. I've been here, darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope you see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time. Bye-bye for now.